Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. Experience the ultimate game day thrill with Draft Day Sports Lounge, where the drinks are cold and the energy is electric. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located minutes south of Iowa City. Thank you to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort for your season-long partnership of Hawkeye Women's Wrestling. Hawkeye Women's Wrestling is also brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, your family-friendly, dependable, and honest auto repair shop, celebrating 30 good years in Iowa City. Homewood Suites and Home 2. Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. Here's Stephen Grace.
Good Sunday afternoon, and welcome into Carver Hawkeye Arena Mediacom Mat as we get ready for the Iowa Duels. The Iowa women with their final home matches of the season. A triangular, as we've got a match going on right now with Life University, number 1 in NAIA, taking on Missouri Valley College. Right now, Life winning that one by a score of 13-1 as they are at 123. And then we will have the Hawkeyes take on Missouri Valley, and then it should be a good one as the Hawkeyes and Life will close things out after that. As we're being joined on air here with Kayla Miracle, making her way up here. She was, what I heard was you were excited to work with me. And I'm like, why was that the case? Because I'm just me. You're like an Olympian, like all kinds of great credentials wrestling-wise.
But you're Hawkeye legend, right?
If you say so, I'll take it. So, Kayla, thank you. Welcome. We're excited to have you here. I guess before we talk too much wrestling here, fill everybody in just a little bit about yourself, kind of the brief overview, because you call me a Hawkeye legend. You are a legend in the wrestling community. You've done a lot in your career. Just kind of fill us in some of the highlights that you've got.
Thank you for calling me a legend. But I guess college level, 4-time WCWA national champion. Back in my day, that's what it was. We were right. WCWA. So it was NAIA and NCAA combined. Now we're split. So it's NCCA is what they call it?
I think so, yeah.
And then NAIA as well. So that's my college career. Couple world teams, senior world teams, I think 4. 2 silver medals at the World Championships, trying to turn those into gold, and made the 2020 Olympic team, and hoping to make another one here in April.
So are you qualified for the Olympic trials already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so qualified for Olympic trials, so preparing for that. My next big thing is getting ready for the Pan Am Olympic qualifier. Got to get over to, I think it's in Acapulco, Mexico, and qualify the weight.
Okay.
So then once you do that, and then if you win trials, you're going to the Olympics. You're going to Paris. If the job doesn't get done there, then you have to go to the last chance qualifier, and that's a rough one.
Yeah, you want to get that qualification early, and we can maybe talk about that as we go. But basically, each country has to say we have somebody that's wrestling well enough to be in the Olympics. You don't just say anybody can show up to the Olympics that want to. You have to qualify for that, and so that's where those Pan Am games and different things help out with that. So training here in Iowa City now. So.
Yeah, so I'm based down in Arizona. My coach, Lee Pritz, is great. But, I need some partners, and these girls are tough as nails. So getting in the room with them and letting them beat me up and, show me the ropes a little bit. It's been great. I've been here just a couple days. And, here until that Pan Am wrestle-off. So I have to earn my spot to be on that Pan Am team as well. So another step.
Right. So obviously, University of Iowa, getting the women's team, and this is the first year that they are fully competing. Last year they did a lot unattached. I mean, you were able to do things, and things have continued to progress. What have you seen just in terms of how the sport of wrestling on the women's side has really taken shape and grown over the last maybe 8-10 years?
Well, I mean, it's crazy just how many college opportunities we have. I think it's 176 is what we decided today. 167. 167. But next year there are going to be 172. And that's split between NAIA, NCAA, and NJCAA. So many options, and then the level of competition has just gone up. You have Kylie Welker wrestling here at Iowa, but last weekend she was wrestling at the ranking event in Croatia. So she's doing the college thing, kicking butt out here, and then kicking butt overseas, like taking over the world, right? So it's cool to see these college girls are able to, have a toe in or a foot in both worlds and make world teams and, just show how tough we are.
Yeah. Well, and it's exciting just to kind of see, what it's been like here in Iowa City with everybody. I mean, obviously a great wrestling history here in Iowa City with the men's side, but to see kind of how things have taken shape with the women's side. Soldier Salute last year when they were wrestling unattached, and then same thing again this season where they're actually attached, wearing the Tiger Hawk on their chest. Seeing the fans start to rally around that. Had a dual meet back in December here with a great crowd. Decent crowd making their way in here today as well. And so I'm sure that's got to be exciting as well for, the girls that are wrestling to be able to see fans that are interested. They care. They want to come and support and be able to say, those are Iowa Hawkeyes. We're excited to see what they're able to do.
Yeah, for sure. When I lived here before moving to Arizona, I'd just be in the grocery store and there would be a random Hawkeye wrestling fan. Like they'd come up to me in the store, say hi, be so excited, and that's just what Iowa is all about. Anywhere here in Iowa City, over in Coralville, anywhere, you're going to find wrestling fans. Iowa is a wrestling state through and through. And so you bring wrestling around, people are going to latch onto it. And then obviously you have this great coaching staff, this great team. They are tough, so it's easy to rally behind them and support them and want to root for them. Not even just Iowa natives or the men's fans, right? They're not just those transplants, just everybody. People that are fans of Chun, right?
Right.
All the people she's met throughout her career and coached throughout her career. So this Hawkeye Nation is growing fast.
Yep, it's super exciting, and we'll talk a little more about that and also about the matchups here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, though. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We will come back with more from Carver Hawkeye Arena. It is the Iowa Duels. The Hawkeyes about ready to take on Missouri Valley. Missouri Valley and Life University are about halfway through their duel right now. We will step out and be back with more right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy.
Stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City. Experience the ultimate game day thrill with Draft Day Sports Lounge, where the drinks are cold and the energy is electric. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located minutes south of Iowa City. Thank you to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort for your season-long partnership of Hawkeye Women's Wrestling.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle as the Iowa duels are underway. Missouri Valley and Life University on the mats right now. They're about halfway through, just finished at 130. And Life University out to a 20-2 lead over Missouri Valley. Life University number 1 in NAIA, just winning the national duels 2 weeks ago, I guess it was now. Same thing that the Hawkeyes won the NCAA version of. And Kayla, before we get to that, I think we got a little bit of time. This is where I'll kind of sidestep a little bit. My daughter's a freshman. She's manager for our West Branch High School. First time they've had a fully sanctioned team, and so it's been exciting. It confuses me, though, because in high school in Iowa, they still wrestle folk style, which is what the men wrestle.
Yeah.
But here collegiately, we wrestle freestyle in the women. So that has just always confused me. I don't know why they did that when they sanctioned it here in the state, but I guess we'll just kind of deal with it. There are overlaps. There are similarities, I know. But freestyle-wise, let's kind of talk through just a little bit of that, just for fans to kind of understand some of the things that we'll be talking about. It is a little different than folk style. Obviously,
Just a little bit.
It's not about, there's not riding. There's not riding time. There's not situations where you want to just control. Basically, take down and you look for exposure. So maybe explain to folks a little bit, what's the kind of goal or the idea in the freestyle match compared to what we normally see in a folk style match?
So first, I actually had a history lesson today. Clarissa Chun was teaching me some stuff. We were talking about when the first program, Missouri Valley, started, and that was in 1999. She was part of that. Their men's coach actually was trying to push for the freestyle so that their girls could be focused on winning and making world and Olympic teams, and that was kind of the focus there. So that's kind of, I think, why we've kept it at the collegiate level. We have so many girls. I think it was 12 of the 17 Olympians that we have went through a college program of some sort. So, it's just a huge testament to the success. But, yes, very different. We have, I think, one big thing, stepping out, right? You're watching the folk style. Some of the guys are, sitting on the line, right? One guy's completely inside, one guy's completely outside, or maybe they're almost off the mat, almost onto the basketball court, and just their pinky toe is in, but they're still in bounds, right? For us, if we have a footstep out of bounds, you are out of bounds, right? So then it would be a point for the other person. In folk style, maybe you'll get a stall call, right? When the fans are getting crazy, right? Everyone's
depends on the ref, but
right? But here it'll be a push out, restart back to center. Takedowns are generally similar, just getting on top. I don't think the word control is in the rule book, but basically covering the hips,
right?
Similar. And then we got the exposure. That's the big one. So in folk style, you have to hold somebody on their back for, in high school it's 5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
To get 3 points. In college, you can just hold them for 4 seconds, get 4 points.
Yep.
That is beautiful. But for us, you just have to turn them from their belly to their even side, right? They only have to break 90 degrees going to their back, and you will get 2 points. So you can bring them all the way over. You can Lincoln log roll them, or you can just tilt them up, maybe do a little Spencer Lee tilt, right?
Yeah.
And you'll get 2 points there. You won't get extra points for holding them on their back. That was a thing earlier in my career, is you had that kill point is what it was called. So you would hold them for, I think it was 3 to 5 seconds, and you would get an extra point. But those are the big things. And then I guess now for those men's college wrestling fans, you're used to the 3-point takedown now, or you're trying to get used to it, right?
Yeah.
You know, you see a takedown on the mat and you're yelling like 2, no, 3.
Yeah.
Right. So here it is 2. And the refs also hold up their fingers different.
Yeah.
Right. So
they do it's like they're making a finger gun.
Yeah, or an
thumb
L.
and forefinger, or an yeah.
Yeah. So those are the big differences. But it's pretty easy to follow, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, and that's a situation. I remember 2012, we were here for the Olympic trials, and Brent Metcalf was wrestling against Jared Frayer. And there were so many Iowa fans that were so confused because Metcalf would get in on the shot. And normally it's, hey, here's the offensive guy. He's the one that's in on the legs. But Frayer did a good job, got the arm in, and would tilt him and would get the exposure right there.
Defensive exposure,
and so that's where it can be a little bit different. You know, sometimes, you want to take a shot and create some sort of a scramble in the college level. That can be very detrimental when you're wrestling in freestyle.
It can. Yeah, so I actually came to the duel on, what was it, Friday?
Friday night,
here? Yeah, and those boys were scrambling. They're rolling. They're jumping to their back, right?
Yeah.
If we go from our feet to our back, we give up 4 points. You know, so that's something we definitely don't want to do. And then obviously the exposure, we definitely don't want to do that. So as they're jumping to the ankles and rolling under and doing all these crazy things, we can't do that. We need to be a little bit more strategic with our defenses, right?
Yeah. Well, and when you look, the way the mat is set up, it's got 2 circles around it, and that goes back to that initial point with the step out. That's kind of a warning, like a warning track on a baseball field.
Exactly.
When you're wrestling, if the opponent is pushing you back, you see that first line, you say, I need to figure out how to turn myself so that I don't give up that push-out point.
Exactly. And, I mean, along with the push-out points, if you're just going to step out, similar to a stall call, you can get cautioned, right? So if I'm just going to walk out of bounds, the ref is going to penalize me and give the other person a point. So when you see that danger line, that warning line, you really want to fight inside. You want to change the position and maybe get a step out of your own, maybe get an offense going, things like that.
Well, then a couple of other points. One is passivity. And there's times where I've been so confused on that too, because it feels like you and I are wrestling and you're just going like crazy hand fighting and trying to set position, and then you're the one that's put on the passivity clock. But basically that's freestyle's version of a stall call. It's not stalling and warning. It's saying you're not doing enough. So now if you get warned, okay, there's a warning. Second time, then you get put onto a shot clock. And then you have 30 seconds that either you try to score, like you have to get a takedown, or your opponent gets a point.
Exactly. Yeah, so that one, you said you're confused. I wrestle this every single day, and I'm still confused by it sometimes.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you watch Helen Maroulis against, who was it? Japan at the Olympics this past quad, and she had, I think the only 3 points in the match were these passivity points, which is crazy. That's like unheard of. But the point of it is to try and create wrestling and get them to be more offensive, take attacks, take risks. So, you get that warning. And the point is, for the refs, right, if there are no scores in that first period, somebody's going to be put on that clock.
Right.
And maybe the point is it's the person who's shooting more. Maybe it's the person who's controlling the center more, right? They look at a lot of different things. Maybe the hand fight, sometimes people are – if somebody has like a 2-on-1 on me and I just put my head in and block, that's, negative wrestling. I'm not wrestling, so I might be put on for something like that.
Right.
Silly little things, but I know there have been matches where I've controlled center and I've been super offensive, and I've still been put on the clock first. And, you just try to keep wrestling, and I try not to change anything because, in the end it's just a point, and maybe if I try to force something I'm going to give up 2, and then they're going to get a chance on top, and you don't want any of that. But, you have to score within that 30 seconds or else they will get a point. Even if they score during it, if they get a takedown while you're on the clock, they'll get their takedown, so 2, and then they will also get 1. So that's a newer rule.
Right.
And it's not fun giving up 3.
Yeah. And then the other thing that is a little bit unique is when you look down here for fans, maybe if you're in Carver or if you're watching, somewhere, and you'll see the referee, and sometimes the referee puts something up, but you've got actually 1 ref and then 2 judges, and you have to have at least 2 out of 3 confirm. So the referee may say that was 2 exposure for blue. There has to be at least one of the side judges that confirms that. Same thing. You'll see if there's a near fall situation, the head ref on the mat will hold his or her hand up and wait to see one of those side judges say, yes, that is a fall, and that's when they'll slap the mat. And so it's not just one ref that's making the decision. There's 3 people that are looking and evaluating what the action is and what the point scoring should be.
Yeah, so similar to folk style wrestling, right? They have 2 officials on the mat, right? And we just have 2 sitting on either side and then 1 on the actual mat. And there's a lot of action. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens. I know we're going to have a rematch today with Reese and McBride, and last time they wrestled, 42 points were put on the board in 5 minutes, 58 seconds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Reese fell with 2 seconds left on the clock, but I am excited for those fireworks. But that many points, with a 4-point feet to back, some of this it's tricky to see, right? It's fast-paced. We got to make sure we're getting the right calls and everything's fair. So we have to make sure it's all good. They're confirming it. They all agree, and if not, then sometimes they'll come together on their own and they'll talk about it and they'll be like, oh, what do we think? Okay, it's this. All right. And then if the coaches disagree, every match you have a challenge. And so you can, if the refs say that I got taken down and I don't think I gave up that takedown, I can have my coaches throw in a block. And they're going to go to video review. And if I win that challenge, then they'll take off the points, right? And I'll get my challenge back. So if I need to use it later in the match, I can. It's just in my back pocket. But if I fail the challenge, if the challenge is lost and they're like, nope, you did actually get taken down, then they keep the challenge and the other girl gets a point.
Right.
So
again, you give up the 2 plus another 1.
Exactly.
Makes a big difference. So, well, it is fun. And I know, obviously, being around the folk style, it takes a little bit to get used to it. And there are situations that still I get confused on in terms of, there's throws where, you initiate the throw and then something else happens and, you get 4, I get 2, or it's 2 for me, even though you get 1. And there's still some of those rules that hopefully we don't run into at any point, but they take those into account. So there's a lot of interesting things, and I think it's fun. It's great to see it. There's advantages to both styles, but it's really exciting to see, and there's a lot of good action here with a lot of these women's matches. So, well, let's step out, take another quick timeout, because through all that talking, we're all the way up to 191, because some of these matches you can get done in like 15 or 20 seconds. You get takedown, ankle lace, boom, 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 and away you go.
Yeah, we've got a national champ on the mat right now, NAI national champion, so I'm excited to see her match up with Iowa this afternoon.
Yeah. We'll take a quick timeout, another 2-minute break. We'll be back with more from Carver Hawkeye Arena. It's the Iowa Duels on MediaCom Matt. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week, it's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
There's something different about watching college wrestling. The speed, the strength, the competition, the takedowns. And right now you could be there to see it like never before. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket and you could win a VIP game day experience to see an Iowa men's wrestling match. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to see every point and pin. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more. To keep corn, growing Iowa.
Escape to Italy and Sicily in September 2024 with Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited. Enjoy this melting pot of multicultural customs and cuisine and beautiful landscapes. After taking in Rome, we'll head down to the dramatic Sorrento coast and then journey from Italy's heel to its toe of Sicily. To learn more about this or any vacation, contact Travel Leaders, Destinations Unlimited at duagency.com. That's duagency.com.
Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Back at Carver Hawkeye Arena as the first duel of this afternoon's Iowa duel is about ready to get done. Missouri Valley leading 12-0 in this heavyweight match, but about ready to get a fall. And there, the hand raise confirmation from the side judge. So that will close it out, and that will make the final score 33-13 in favor of Life. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle sitting in the press row as we get ready for the Hawkeyes to take on Missouri Valley. And good way to start things off there. Nice, exciting action. Kayla, we talked about a lot of the different rules. The one other one, and I know when Iowa had their first duel back in November, and so many people were confused because it was, I think, like 41-1 or something weird like that. And when you're scoring the freestyle duels, if you score a point, you can get a point for your team.
Yes,
so,
as long as you don't give up the fall.
As long as you don't give up the fall.
Yeah. So a normal decision, I win 8-0, right? I'm going to get 3 team points, you get 0. If that score were 8-1, then it would be 3 points me, 1 point you. Tech fall would be 4. If you score a point, you get 1. And then if I get a fall, I get 5 points, you get 0, no matter even if you were winning 9-0 at that point.
Yep. Right now showing Coach Chun with her introductory news conference, and haven't had as much opportunity to talk with her, but have talked with her a few times, and she is just, I mean, she is a legend in women's wrestling around the world. And she's done so much. I mean, talk about what she means to the sport of women's wrestling, and obviously for Iowa, but just, I mean, across the entire country.
Well, I mean, she was a national team coach, an assistant national team coach for Team USA for, I think, 5 years. So her coaching resume is pretty impressive, right? So there's just that, and what she's given to all the athletes. But then as a competitor, she's done what we all want to do. She has won an Olympic bronze medal and a world title, however many other things. But those are the ones that I'm looking at, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I need to win that belt. I need to win that Olympic medal. So just as an athlete, great. As a coach, clearly very great. She's building quite the program. And then as a person, unmatched. Like, she is just such a great person. Iowa is so lucky to have her here. Anyone who gets the chance to meet her, hang out with her, talk with her, you just consider yourself lucky because she is a gem.
Yeah, she's the few times that we have had her on and talked to her, and it's just great. And she's just, sometimes you may have a coach and it's some cliches and it's kind of a quick. She just sits and it's a genuine conversation, and I mean, she cares about people in general, and that's just, it's amazing. That's what you want to see from a coach.
Yes. I mean, I had a great talk with her this morning, a nice heart-to-heart, and she's getting ready for senior night, right? She's busy. She's getting ready for weigh-ins, and she's running around doing all these things, but she had the time to sit down and chat with me, and it was a real good, genuine conversation, and I mean, it turned my whole day around, right?
Yeah.
She's the best.
And she's put together a good staff. There's a Gary Mayab cheering section. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I saw a little head over here,
there's
too.
Like heads over there, and people are all excited. And I mean, Gary's a guy that I mean, again, he's been around. He's done a lot. His wife does the PA here inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. And
what a queen.
It was actually Corey who's producing for us. He said he came over to the first one, and he loved the fact that she will take the time to help explain, like we just did, what's going on. Because, again, people don't understand freestyle as much. And so I said she would be great to just come and be able to just analyze what's going on because she gets it, she knows what's happening. And so
I was catching a little bit of what she was saying during that first duel and just how she walked us through, why this person's getting this point or why this brick is flying on the mat, right? Or this sometimes coaches will kick it onto the mat, silly things like that, and what means what, right? And then she was even explaining the 1 point for the team. So the fans are going to be well informed with her on the mic.
I would love to have had her. Was at the Olympics or wherever that it was a men's match, but the Mongolian coach ripped his shirt off.
Yep, the Olympics. I think it was for a bronze medal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you have not seen that, seniors are coming out.
Yep.
Make sure to check out that Mongolian coach situation.
That was classic.
A must see.
Hawkeyes about ready to make their way out of the tunnel. And taking on Missouri Valley to start things off. Missouri Valley receiving votes in the most recent NAIA poll, it looked like. 1-6 record, but just outside of the top 25. But, again, they've got some good individuals. And, there was some good matches there with Life, who's the number 1 team in the country. And, obviously, Life winning 33-13. But Missouri Valley's no slouch.
Yeah, no, definitely certain matchups are going to be great. Between these, I'm definitely looking forward to our 191 bout. We've got Kalani Corbett, and I don't know who we're throwing out there, but whoever it is, whether it's Liv White or JC, it's going to be a battle. I'm excited for it. We've got a couple good ones lined up, and then obviously we're going to be a little emotional, I think, after doing this senior night tribute. We know Felicity Taylor loves Iowa, right? Iowa born and bred, and so this is something so special to her. Actually, if you're able to tune in and watch, you should definitely do that because her shoes are cool. Oh my goodness.
Josh Schamberger just getting recognized right there as the Iowa City Area Sports Commission. Think Iowa City Coralville Convention and Visitor. He's got so many different organizations that he's got his finger in. The Iowa Women's Wrestling Club. But they are helping put on the Iowa Duels here today. And so I know he does a lot for wrestling in general, all levels. I mean, whether it's girls' high school stuff, some of the things that they do there with the Gable Donnybrook, trying to get some teams in, hosting the girls' state tournament for the state of Iowa, and then move on up here to the collegiate ranks with the Women's Wrestling Club to help train going post-collegiately. And those are the kinds of people that across the country you'd love to have that just are so supportive and understand what it takes to be able to let you athletes focus on competing.
Yeah, he's great. I got to have dinner with him last time I was in town and got to know him a little bit, and just what he's doing for the sport, like you said, is incredible. That's what we need. We need more people like that to help grow the sport and, help with this transition, right? Some of these girls, we got Marlon, who's probably going to look into the RTC. Felicity's who's probably going to look at the RTC because they're out of their college eligibility. So they're going to want to make world teams and take over the world that way, and he's the guy that's going to help them.
Yeah, yep, for sure. Let's step out. We'll take one more 2-minute timeout, and we will have wrestling action when we return. Iowa going to be taking on Missouri Valley. You are listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. Back right after this. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Topgolf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Topgolf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
There's something different about watching college wrestling. The speed, the strength, the competition, the takedowns. And right now, you could be there to see it like never before. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket, and you could win a VIP game day experience to see an Iowa men's wrestling match. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to see every point and pin. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Iowa duels for the Hawkeye women. Going to be taking on Missouri Valley College to start things off. Lights down, pyrotechnics firing away as they get ready to come out of the tunnel.
Herky breakdancing on the mat. Going
Herky's
crazy.
awesome. You got to love Herky.
You got to love Herky.
Iowa and Missouri Valley. Missouri Valley just losing to Life University 33-13. And the weight classes, a little bit different than what we're used to hearing for the men's size. We start off at 101. Hawkeyes will have either number 1 Emily Gonzalez or number 2 Sterling Diaz. Nothing like having the top 2 wrestlers in the country in the same room.
That is quite the room. You know, to have 1 and 2, iron sharpens iron. So it's good for them.
Yeah.
It's going to make them so much better for years to come.
I like this coming out almost kind of like a mini swarm like the Hawkeye football team does.
Squad.
Hand in hand, making the squad come out. But one of those will be taking on Sage Beltran. That's actually a rematch for Emily Gonzalez. She beat Beltran by tech fall at the Missouri Valley Open earlier this year. Ava Bayless at 109 will be taking on Haley Holland. Brianna Gonzalez at 116 for the Hawkeyes against Lauren Lincoln. At 123, Felicity Taylor will be taking on Ashley Wetzel. 130, Emily Frost will be taking on either Madeline Santana or Chase Keel. At 136, Lily Luft will be taking on either Aniceta Acosta or Willow Barnes. At 143, either number 2, Reese Laramendi, or number 4, Ella Schmidt, taking on Serenity De La Garza. At 155, Marlon Didi, or number 9, Bella Meir, taking on either Elise Falsetti or Elizabeth Hubbard. At 170, either Kylie Welker, number 1, or number 3, Haley Ward, taking on Tyla Allen or Holly Hedgepeth. And then we close out with the heavyweights, like you talked about, either Fuller or White taking on Corbett. We'll take one more quick 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with wrestling actions from Carver right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is responsible for our community being home to countless amateur sporting events and state tournaments. From state volleyball, wrestling, tennis, and much, much more, the Sports Commission generates significant annual economic impact while adding substantially to our quality of life. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is a proud presenting sponsor of UI Women's Athletics. Learn more at wegotnext.org.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City. Experience the ultimate game day thrill with Draft Day Sports Lounge, where the drinks are cold and the energy is electric. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located minutes south of Iowa City. Thank you to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort for your season-long partnership of Hawkeye Women's Wrestling.
Get back. National anthem nicely done, and team's about ready to shake hands. Iowa and Missouri Valley. Stephen Grace, Kayla Miracle saying thanks for joining us. I guess the one other big difference that we didn't talk about, Kayla, in terms of the rules is instead of 7 minutes of wrestling over 3 periods. You have 6 minutes over 2 periods.
Correct. 2 3-minute periods. So it's a bit different than the men, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. The time has changed so much throughout my wrestling career. You know, at one point it was 3 2-minute periods, and if you won the period, it was like a tally. So it was best 2 out of 3 periods, basically. Just some very interesting rules going into clinches, things like that. So now I like this 2 3-minute period thing.
Did you ever have the ball grab in the women?
I did. Yeah, I remember at Fargo Nationals, I had to do some of the ball grabs. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's you never know if you're. For everyone that doesn't know, you know, you would have to go into a clinch if it was tied at the end, and a clinch is like into a certain wrestling position, and if you would stick your hand into this bag and you would pull out a red or a blue ball, and if you pulled out yours, you got to be in the favorable position, and you know, this situation could take 2 seconds and it would be over. So yeah, it was not fun. A lot of anxiety there. I feel like we should have just done a coin flip or something, right?
It'd be just the same.
Yeah.
But I've always said, I mean, whether it's freestyle, folk style, it'd be great if you just got to, if you go to like a time match, instead of having a time limit, just, okay, somebody score a takedown. And first one to score a takedown wins. And no time on the clock, just go.
Kind of like that Who's Number One? It was Nick Siriano, Dayton Fix. How long did that go?
A long time.
30 minutes or something crazy? Yeah. No, so that's another rule thing here. For us, we have criteria. So with the men's folk style, you have, what is it called? Overtime. There we go. Yeah. We do not have overtime. So for us, it is typically last point scored. But if you have, say, a bigger point sequence, right? Say if Steven and I are wrestling and I had a 4-point move and he had 2 2-point moves, my 4-point move wins, I win the match. But if we both had 2 2-point moves, whoever scored last wins. Sometimes we'll have, if we have cautions in there, that's thrown in there as well. So all those things come into play at the end of the match, and they're very important. Typically, there's an underline. Whoever's winning is underlined.
Right.
And so that helps. I don't know how it's going to be on this scoreboard, but the international scoreboards, the leading athlete will have an underline.
Dr. Sue Beckwith, one of the honorary captains tonight. She is well known in the University of Iowa area for her support of Hawkeye women's athletics. Helped support the boathouse for the rowing team, and she has done so much else across the athletic department helping support the Hawkeye women. And it's great to see. I mean, obviously, Dr. Christine Grant years ago was really kind of at the forefront of trying to bring women's athletics to the forefront. Now you have, and that time she was the women's athletic director when it was split. Now you have Beth Getz, just officially named the athletic director for the entire department. One of the few women in the country and the Big Ten Conference that have that opportunity. And so it's just great to see, you know, that forward-thinkingness and the ability for so many of these great, talented, intelligent women to be in those positions and help lead the charge for the athletic department here at Iowa.
Yes, I think the University of Iowa got a good one with Beth. I mixed both of her names up. I have heard so many good things from Clarissa, you know, firsthand, just how she's been with, you know, say like recruits. You know, if there's an opportunity for her to, you know, step up, hang out with the athletes, whatever, she's going to do that. She's going to, you know, it's about the people, right? And that's what she's trying to do. And with that, you're going to get the job done.
About ready to get things underway. Emily Gonzalez gets the nod at 101 for the Hawkeyes. Taking on Sage Beltran. Like I said, this was a 10-0 tech fall at the Missouri Valley Open earlier this season. Whistle sounds and we are underway.
I love watching her and her sister train. It's so cute. Oh, and on a high
nice
C.
Head to the outside. Gets up over the hips and
2
covers.
takedown.
Gut
She's going
wrench.
for that gut. She's got to drive.
And rolls her over for
2
two more.
Exposure. Got to
Goes
watch
back
that zone.
the other way and gets 2 more as they go out of bounds. That's
Quick.
one of the other minor changes. She finishes that, and the wrestler's out of bounds. You can't continue the action there.
Correct.
unlike the men where you can keep things going. So just like that, 30 seconds in, and Gonzalez up 6-0. And that's where it's fun that these matches can go pretty quick. There's a lot of good action. It keeps fans into it. There's a nice 2-on-1 drag to a shot. Gonzalez sliding down to the ankle, but Beltran doing a good job
She got that
trying to go
exposure.
through, but Gonzalez
Looking
comes
for a
out front,
fall.
gets the 2, and she's got a half in. Scooping the leg as well, and referee's going to throw that hand up in the air, and the fall for Gonzalez.
Quick work.
58 seconds the time of the fall. Hawks go up 5-0. We'll take a 30-second break and be back with more. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
There's something different about watching college wrestling. The speed, the strength, the competition, the takedowns. And right now you could be there to see it like never before. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket and you could win a VIP game day experience to see an Iowa men's wrestling match. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to see every point and pin. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to the Iowa Duels. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle as we move to 109 pounds. Number 2, Ava Bayless for the Hawkeyes. Nice double leg attempt. Drives out of bounds. Going to give 2. They confirm it.
Dang. I was thinking that was maybe 4.
Sat her to her butt, so they're saying not enough for the exposure right there. She's taking on Haley Holland for Missouri Valley. Hawkeyes with the fall in the first match, so they lead 5-0. There's a nice snatch single attempt. Bayless has that leg up in between hers, now comes up over the head. Unable to get the exposure, but gives up back down over the hips and gets the 2 rather. Seemed like one where Holland was fighting that off a little bit, Caleb, and then she said, you know what, I'm going to give up 2 so I don't give up more.
Yes, she was definitely prepared. She knew that lace was coming, so she wanted to get in a defensible position. That lace gets locked up, that match is over.
Yeah.
Quick 4 turns. Whew.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, too. I mean, you talk about folk style and, in that bottom position, so there's another nice high crotch attempt by Bayless. Gets flattened out, though, as Holland stepping back, locked through the crotch, trying to elevate it. Ava doing a good job trying to get her hips back up under her. Fully extended here. Holland trying to see if she can turn this into some points, but it'll go back to their feet. A lot of times, though, when you get taken down in a freestyle match, you want to stall. Like, you basically want to sprawl out so they can't turn you.
Yeah, so after about 10 seconds, give or take, the ref will put you back up rather than in folk style where you have to get up yourself.
Minute 45 to go here in the first period. 4-0 is the lead for Ava Bayless for the Hawkeyes. We were talking, my wife and daughters are actually sitting in front, and they were asking about headgear.
I was just thinking that.
And NCAA, you're required to wear it.
Correct.
NAIA, you don't have to. So the Hawkeyes have to wear the headgear. The other 2 teams don't have to.
Yes, I know. I mean, there were none of those rules when I was, back in my day. But I definitely think if I were in an NAIA school, I would not be wearing headgear. Got 1 for a step out.
2-on-1 to a snatch, and Bayless driving through and gets the step out point instead. So that'll make it 5-0. Holland, I think, ranked in the top 15 in NAIA. I think she was number 12 with the rankings I saw.
I don't know how accurate my sheet is.
The bout sheet, they don't have any rankings listed for anybody but Iowa's. There's another sweep into a takedown for Bayless. Gives her a 7-0 lead. Now she's up around the gut, trying to see if she can roll over here.
Trying to drive.
Unable to, so now she chops the arm and goes to a tilt the other way. Trap that arm just into a quick hip tilt, trying to do the same thing. 30 seconds left, rolls her up over and gets another 2. And that's going to do it.
Tech fall, 11-0.
11-0, so that'll be 4 points for the Hawkeyes. Makes it 9-0 in the team score. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
We move to 116 pounds now on Mediacom Mat, the Iowa Duels. For the Iowa Hawkeyes, number 3, Brianna Gonzalez, taking on Lauren Lincoln for Missouri Valley. And there's a nice quick shot, cut off to a double by Gonzalez. Straight to the back for the 4, and could be more. She's trying to scoop that head. Lincoln did a good job of popping that shoulder up just enough, and then they slide out of bounds. But that'll be a 4-0 lead for Gonzalez.
I wonder if she has a little bet with her twin sister who wrestled at 101 and got the fall in under a minute. I wonder if she's trying to beat that.
Another nice head to the outside, high crotch. Picks her up, throws her down, gets the 4, and scoops the head again. She's going to cinch this in, see if she can get those hips out just a little bit more. As Lincoln was throwing that arm up, trying to stop her off. Gonzalez continuing to try to scoot those hips around. She's got that head cinched up tight. Still about 45 degrees. She's got to pull that up a little bit more, see if she can pull a leg around and use some more leverage. There, she's getting closer.
Close.
It's going to be close between her and her sister, too, as that right elbow goes down, keeping that back off just enough.
Oh.
Fans clamoring. She's
Emily
right there.
won.
Brianna continuing to work. And that's a position that, if you're in that bottom position, you hate to be in, because that takes a lot of work to fight that off.
Not comfortable.
Now she goes and pulls that arm out like a far side arm bar, and cinching it up a little bit tighter, continuing to push those hips. The Gonzalez girl's not the tallest in the world, and this Lincoln a little bit lanky, and she's using that length to help her fight this fall off right here.
She's got her leg trapped.
There she got the leg out. Now she's got the hips
here.
up onto the chest. And there's the hand raise and the fall. 1 minute and 40 seconds for Brianna Gonzalez.
Their shots are beautiful.
Yeah, that was 2 really nice high crotches right there. Hawks on top 14-0. Back in 30 seconds. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena, the Iowa Duels. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle as we move to 123 pounds in the first duel for the Hawkeyes. Felicity Taylor taking on Ashley Wetzel for Missouri Valley. Taylor out of Spillville, Iowa. Actually started her career at McKendree because when she graduated, there was no programs at the University of Iowa. There she throws an underhook by, but a nice tight whizzer thrown in by Wetzel. Taylor trying to get up over the head. Wetzel comes up, almost looked like a headlock attempt there. Now Wetzel's got a 2-on-1 on Felicity. Tries to throw an underhook by herself, and then Felicity, nice
Quick
stuff of the head, go behind for the 2.
So
I almost said 3, I'm sorry.
You're finally starting to adjust.
Yeah.
For folks. I feel like this is maybe the first time I've ever seen somebody wear a bow in a wrestling match.
I was just going to say, Felicity got a bright pink bow up there.
Yes. I think all the seniors have it in tonight. So, and then they match her shoes, her gorgeous shoes.
Yeah.
I actually had the chance to get to know Felicity a bit better a couple summers ago at the World Championships. I asked her to be my training partner, so she traveled over to Serbia with me, and I got to spend a bit of time with her, and she was awesome. Great to train with, great vibes, great feel. She's going to be great. I'm excited to see the rest of her senior career and the rest of her senior season.
Underhook throw by to a far knee and gets the 2. Now she's trying to lock up those ankles. She's got him, but she's not in great position. She's trying to force it over with one arm and does. Gets the 2. Now comes back up to an arm. More so just waiting for that referee to say, let's get back to our feet, which he does. 6-0 is the lead for Taylor.
I would love to see a Felicity Taylor fireman's carry right now. 4 points, end it.
Sounds like you've experienced that a little bit when you're training with her.
Oh, yeah. It's both of our favorite moves, so we just kind of hit it back and forth on each other, and it's fun to really talk about it with each other and try and perfect them. Oh, and she loves it from this 2-on-1 position.
There it is. Tried hitting it, but Wetzel did a good job sprawled, crushed with the hips. Felicity, though, got to the other leg and comes up over the hips, drives to the far side, and gets 2 more right on the edge of the mat. 8-0 is the lead with 39 to go here in the first. Nice tap into a shot from a non-tie right there by Wetzel, but Felicity trying to keep that toe down on the mat, sagging those hips. Wetzel trying to climb up that leg. Felicity with the tight whizzer in. Now she's able to get her leg clear, hips back, and then tries to go behind. Wetzel squares up, now into a body lock situation. Wetzel tries going to that headlock. Felicity gets around back, missed on that go behind. Pink bow falls out, so the referee has to pull it out of the way. Tries going into a duck. Gets back to that leg, short time, and she gets up over and gets 2 more, and that's going to do it. Another technical superiority, 10-0. And that will put the Hawkeyes on top by a score of 18-0. Back with more right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Back in Iowa City, MediaCom Mat inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Iowa duels for the Hawkeyes and Missouri Valley, the first of 2 for the Hawks. Missouri Valley already losing to Life University 33-13 right before this one. We move to 130, where number 10 Lily Luft for the Hawkeyes, taking on Chase Keel for Missouri Valley. Iowa leading by a score of 18-0. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle joining us. There's a 2-on-1 into a push-out point for Lily.
Frost. Emily Frost.
Oh, that's Frost?
Yep.
Sorry. I was a weight class off. I wrote Lily down at 130, even though it was Frost. So my apologies
they
to
both
Emily.
Might have weighed in there.
Lily weighed in at 36.
Okay.
So she's going to be going at the next weight class. When I was putting it in, I wrote one weight and then talked to somebody and went to the wrong line. So
I think she'll forgive you. She's pretty nice.
She's got a big old smile on her face, long and lanky. You talk about the Gonzalez twins, really short, compact, and Emily's the exact opposite. Does a nice 2-on-1 into a drag and just throws Keel all the way down to the mat and gets the 2.
We were actually working on that 2-on-1 earlier this week. That's her bread and butter, and we were just looking for more options in there. And, of course, I love that fireman's carry, so we worked on that a little bit one night.
5-0 is the lead for Frost. Freshman out of Troy, New York. There's a shot by Keel. Frost hipping in hard right now. stuffing the head down to the mat. Keel switches off to a single leg. He's trying to suck that leg in. Frost reaching back between the legs, trying to break that grip. Does. Let's see if she can get around behind. Trying to clear that right arm from her left hip. Continuing to circle. Now she's got Keel flattened out, but they're going to stalemate it, head back up to their feet. So what are some other options from that 2-on-1 that you like to see? I mean, you like to go to the Firemen's, but what are some other things that you try to get her to do?
Yeah, so, I mean, she's already great at that push-pull plant. We saw that just a second ago, scored with it. She also scored with that push-out, just controlling the mat with it in general. I also love going into a single there, just kind of a snatch single. You can kind of do like Metzger, Varzigar type of vibe, stepping behind, depending on your style of wrestling.
Right.
But, yeah, definitely love the fireman's carry from there as well.
She did a great job from a front head situation. Almost got an exposure, but not able to, but then able to continue to pressure through, gets a takedown, and then locks up the ankle lace and gets 2 more exposures and gives herself the 11-0 win. 38 seconds left in the first period. 4 more points for the Hawkeyes. They lead Missouri Valley by a score of 22-0. Back with more from Carver right after this. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week, it's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
136 pounds now on the mat. Now it is Lily Luft for the Hawkeyes, the freshman out of Charles City, as she is taking on Annie Acosta for Missouri Valley. Big snap by Acosta into a front headlock. Luft trying to clear up out of that. Acosta does a good job, pulls her back down to the mat. Holding on to that arm underneath. Acosta trying to force that out, see if she can get anything, but they'll head back to their feet.
I actually have plans with Lily.
Oh, yeah?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, on the mat. She asked me to be her partner, so we're going to scrap a bit. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. That's exciting. She's well known here in the state. She was the female wrestler of the year, the Miss Dan Gable wrestler of the year last year. And out of Charles City. She's done a lot, again, as you've seen the growth at the high school level and now officially being sanctioned. But folks here in Iowa recognize Lily and what she's been able to do and continue to grow. Looking for some exciting things from her in her career here in Iowa City.
Yeah, Iowa, we sanctioned in, 2022?
Yes. I think last year was, I think they did it at the end of 2022, so last year was the first full season that it was sanctioned, so they had the first official tournament. There's a nice, good job sprawling down block right there as there was a shot by Acosta, and Lily threw the hoops back, but then exploded right back in and gets the go behind for 2.
She's looking to lock up that lace.
She's got the ankles.
This could be dangerous.
What is there any sort of defense if somebody's got an ankle lace on you? As she's unable to do it, but
go-to is getting the knees apart, right? First, get the knees apart, your butt back, and then you're fighting hands, reaching back, and trying to break that grip.
Inside of a minute to go, first period, 3-0 is the lead for Luft for the Hawkeyes against Annie Acosta for Missouri Valley. Hawks on top 22-0 in the team score. Luft working that wrist lock.
Bringing her to the zone. Controlling the center.
Acosta circling, trying to square those hips. Now she's got over-under situation. Got that left-handed underhook in pretty deep. not comfortable there. You can see her trying to sag her hips back, and then there's another shot from a ways away by Acosta. Down block into another takedown for Luft.
Quick go behinds.
She's got that ankle lace for two. And two more.
Short time. Can she get it?
Oh, she got stuffed right there. She's not going to be able to finish for the last one. Oh, she got it right as the horn blew.
9-0 heading into the break. I think this is the first
one that we've
break.
had to go to the break.
Not too shabby for the Hawks.
So 9-0 lead for Luft. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year. Proudly supports Iowa wrestling. Trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets in Iowa City. So what, take me through one of these breaks. Like, what are you doing as an athlete? What are the coaches trying to talk to you about in this situation?
So I think it depends on the athlete, what they want to hear, what they need to hear. Some people need to be screamed at. Some people need to be talked gently to. I need to be talked gently to. But mostly, I got to fix my hair.
Well, a lot of times you'll see coaches are wiping down with a towel just to keep some of that sweat off. You don't see it as much, but refs normally will check a little bit just to make sure that you don't have anything slippery on you, too much sweat, or any foreign substances. There's another front head go behind to close it out for Luft. She wins 11-0. Hawks move out to a 26-0 lead over Missouri Valley. Back with more of the Iowa Duels. Hawkeye Women's Wrestling presented all season long by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. We'll have more from Carver right after this. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is responsible for our community being home to countless amateur sporting events and state tournaments. From state volleyball, wrestling, tennis, and much, much more, the Sports Commission generates significant annual economic impact while adding substantially to our quality of life. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is a proud presenting sponsor of UI Women's Athletics. Learn more at wegotnext.org.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City. Experience the ultimate game day thrill with Draft Day Sports Lounge, where the drinks are cold and the energy is electric. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located minutes south of Iowa City. Thank you.
Back at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Ella Schmidt getting the nod for the Hawkeyes here at 143, taking on Serenity De La Garza. And she got a 4-point throw, takedown, ankle lace, ankle lace, ankle lace. We barely had time to even see what was going on.
33 seconds on the mat.
Ella Schmidt out of Bettendorf, Iowa with the 10-0 technical superiority.
I love it, watching the girls just celebrate on the mat and feeding into the crowd. You know, that's not something I've ever seen. You know, I don't know if I ever got the chance to wrestle in front of a crowd like this in college. Definitely not. So I love to see it. The crowd loves it. It's fun, a lot of fun.
Yep. We'll keep it here for this one because I think they said Hubbard. Bella Meir is going to go for the Hawkeyes. Elizabeth Hubbard for Missouri Valley. Meir coming across 2-on-1. Gets a push out. You can see that intensity. They head back to the center. Referee was taking an extra second there, and Bella was just on the line, like ready, like she was in her spot, like almost shaking, ready to get after it.
Oh, right there, we got a caution and one right there. So the girl kind of just backed out. Too easy for Bella. Didn't put up a fight. It was offered and confirmed. So now it's 3-0.
So she got push out for one, and then also the caution, basically for fleeing the mat.
Yes. Whoa.
Bella Into a body lock, almost picks her up. Comes around. Still that side headlock right there by Missouri Valley, but Bell able to scoop that head out. Gets around over the hips for 2 more. Out of bounds. 2:14 to go in the first. 5-0 is the lead.
So a lot of times seeing them to come to the center with freestyle wrestling, you don't have those lines to step on. Folk style, you have to step on that green or that red line, and if you don't, you can get cautioned. For us, I can plant my butt in the center and make you, another push out. She is controlling that mat. And so I can make you kind of shade start to the side, so I can control the mat a little bit. It's a little bit of a mind game. Work on it a lot.
There's a 2-on-1 and then pops into a shot, head to the outside, trying to elevate it here. Hubbard doing a good job trying to scoot those hips around, actually steps back across. Mir still hanging on to that leg, but barely. Hubbard going to a nice aggressive crossface. And they're going to stop at no points.
Crowd did not like that one.
I will admit, though, if it was Bella that put that crossface in like that, they would have loved it.
So excited about it.
Bella, again, just coming across so hard. Now gets into that seat belt and just gets around the hips for 2 more. That's where she's just using that 2-on-1, controlling the mat and just getting Hubbard completely off. Now she comes around running a chicken wing. It's got those hips up onto the mat. Gets 2 for the exposure. Great flexibility, but not for long for Hubbard. Referee overlooking. There she looks over to the side table. No fall. Not confirmed.
Wasn't called, but we got the tech fall.
So that's going to do it. 10-0. Bellamere with the win. Hawks up 34-0. Now we'll take another 30-second break and be back with more from Carver right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. £170. Haley Ward for the Hawkeyes. Did you hear which one they announced?
I think it's Kaylani Corbett. I thought she was just a 191, but yeah. So I think she bumped up last duel to wrestle 191.
Okay. So Corbett for Missouri Valley. 34-0 is the team score for the Hawkeyes. They actually don't have anybody listed on the bout sheet at 191 for Missouri Valley. But Corbett's not one that they had listed either on the weigh-in sheet. $34-0, the lead for the Hawkeyes. 2 falls and technical superiority everywhere else. Front headlock right here for Corbett. Ward clears up out of that. There is warning for passivity on Corbett. Again, it looked like she's the one that initiated that front head, was doing things, had an overhook, but then she's the one that gets warned. So if there's another situation, then you'll get her put on that passivity clock.
Yes. So they could potentially.
There's a nice snap from the front headlock by Ward. Go ahead,
there's
Kayla.
That step out right there. So had that not happened, they could have warned both of them before picking somebody to put on the clock. It's a little bit different every match, depending on the refs and what they kind of prefer and how much action they're putting in. Sometimes both of them are minimal, so they have to put somebody. So it's, they'll maybe flip a coin in their head.
There's a nice push-pull into a head to the outside shot and takedown for Ward. Had the ankle lace momentarily, but couldn't hang on to it. Now she hops up over into a crossface. probably going to get back up to our feet here.
Haley's ranked, what, third?
Third,
in the
yep.
country?
There's the stalemate, so fresh start on the feet, 51.9 on the clock. 3-0 is the lead for Haley Ward for Iowa.
This crowd is it's impressive.
Yeah.
I think everyone wanted to see the Hawks, so they probably came in a little bit after that first duel.
Yeah, it started filling in pretty nice.
Yeah. A nice Sunday afternoon, cold, snowy Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
That's right.
Get you a Carver cone and call it a day.
Yeah. I noticed my kids didn't get us one.
Yeah, I know. Come on, guys.
They're ignoring us.
They know they did it wrong.
Over-under situation again right here. Ward for the Hawkeyes and Corbett for Missouri Valley as this first period comes to an end. And it will be a 3-0 lead for Ward. Haley, a freshman out of Buckner, Missouri.
I think she has some Pan Am
Yeah,
hardware.
Like a U15 gold, a U20 bronze, and a U20 gold. Four-time state champion in Missouri.
Not too shabby.
No. Won the Soldier Salute over in Coralville back in late December. Again, we find ourselves in this over-under situation. So you said you like doing that 2-on-1 and looking for that fireman, but if you're going against somebody that likes getting into that upper body, some of those, two underhooks, over-under, what's your mindset of trying to make sure that you can get yourself into a situation where you're comfortable not allowing them to dictate?
Yeah, so I get into 2-on-1s, and if I'm there, I'll do a fireman's. I don't love to go in there. I don't put myself in that position on purpose. I'm typically collar tie and that Schultz tie, inside tie. And then if I can have my right hand free to probe and, fake shots, snap, redirect, things like that, that's what I'm going to try. But, wrestling Final X this last summer, Adugo is one of the strongest humans on this planet, and she's a lot of upper body, and then she's got that mean blast double. I think she's pound for pound top college woman wrestler right now. I don't know if that's NAIA or overall, but I would say maybe overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying to get comfortable. I'm not going to be great there. I'm not going to be able to score in those underhook, overhook positions, but I'm going to be comfortable enough to know how to evade it and get to a safe space for myself and back into that Schultz tie and into those fakes.
We always talk about you want to control the ties, and so find yourself, and could be a situation where both of these wrestlers are comfortable there, but Haley able to work herself out. So we get down to 1:20 to go here. 3-0 is the lead for Ward for the Hawkeyes. Now she's trying to work 2-on-1 against Corbett.
She has that good head position. Oh, Corbett just stole it back.
Step out and a takedown in the first for Ward. And then a lot of upper body here for this second period. And Ward that 2-on-1 head on the opposite side, though, so having a hard time to find an angle off of that.
But she has some good pressure. Thought she was going to really push for that push out right there.
Now
Corbett's
Corbett
about
starting
to
to pick it up.
hard.
Yeah, she's picking up her action a little bit more, tapping, faking. Again, throwing that over-under in. Seeing if she can set something up. Only 20 on the clock here. There she tries a lat drop and puts herself to her back, and Ward will get two more out of it. See if she can run that arm. Now we're going to stop it. Referee coming over to talk to the head table judge. I don't know if she's thinking it would be 2-2 or a 4-point.
They might call it a slip somehow. I don't.
There's a situation where Corbett was doing a lat drop, so she was trying to basically throw over top of herself.
Yeah.
And then slid down to the mat, and Ward came down and covered.
Yeah, I think it should be 2 for Ward because it was Kaylani's true effort, true attempt. If it wasn't and she had gone feet to back, then it would be 4. But in this situation, I think it should be 2. And
there's a caution.
Okay. So Dort was just saying caution for unsportsmanlike conduct, and because that would happen when they were on the mat, they started back on the mat, which doesn't happen super often in freestyle.
So final score 7-0 in favor of Haley Ward. Hawks go up 37-0 in the team score. We'll be back with the final match of the afternoon for this duel right after this. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
There's something different about watching college wrestling. The speed, the strength, the competition, the takedowns. And right now you could be there to see it like never before. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket and you could win a VIP game day experience to see an Iowa men's wrestling match. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to see every point and pin. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Nice little flurry there to get things going at 191. Olivia White for the Hawkeyes taking on Tyla Allen for Missouri Valley. Allen looked like she was in a spot to hit a throw, and White was able to slip around just enough, almost got her own go-behind for points, but then good hustle and scramble by Allen to square back up. So they're still wrestling on their feet. 2:20 to go here in the first period. 37-0 is the lead for the Hawkeyes over Missouri Valley. Again, over-under situation. Now we're going to get passivity against Missouri Valley. First warning. On our bout sheet, Allen listed at 170, so I don't know if she weighed in at 91 or...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There she tries doing a throw of her own, and White just grabs her, pulls her down to the mat, holding her there, hand raised, slap the mat, and close it out for the fall.
It's a good way to end that duel.
1 minute and 17 seconds. And that'll make the final score 42-0 in favor of the Hawkeyes. Olivia White. Yeah.
The strength, the competition, the takedowns. And right now you could be there to see it like never before. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket and you could win a VIP game day experience to see an Iowa men's wrestling match. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to see every point and pin. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena, the Iowa duels. Iowa picking up the 42-0 win over Missouri Valley College. Hawkeyes. In just a few minutes, we'll be taking on Life University, and that's going to be a great matchup. You have the National Duels champion from NAIA and the National Duels champion from NCAA meeting each other. And we're going to have a lot of rematches from what we had at the Soldier Salute Finals. Life University and Iowa were your top two teams. And they had a lot of matchups in those finals and a lot of good battles between those two. And it's going to be very exciting to see how this one shapes up. Should be a very good matchup as the Hawkeyes inaugural season, first time competing, and they are being presented all year long by the Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. Big thank you to them. The Iowa Duels are being sponsored and presented by, I guess, which one is it, Shammy?
What was the question?
Which one is the actual sponsor of this? Is it Think Iowa City? Is it the Iowa City Sport? Is it you just personally?
No, Iowa City Area Sports Commission. Yeah,
I got to joke
with
you
you
a little bit.
Happy to sponsor all the, puts on the Girls State Wrestling Tournament, and so this is just a natural next level, next stage, right?
I don't know if it was a 20 or a 50 that you slipped to Caleb, but she gave you all kinds of good words.
I didn't slip her any, but I know she crushes. Has she been carrying you?
She's been doing great, man. I mean,
would you rate her above Mark right now?
Yeah. I mean, she did not jump into the pond last night like Mark did, but no, she's doing awesome. She knows her stuff, and she's keeping me on track.
Good.
So
she's right here going up on the big board.
Yeah. So they came up and they're like, hey, we need to take you because we're going to go interview her down there. So, it's been exciting just getting to talk to her a little bit. And, Iowa City Area Sports Commission, you guys are sponsoring this. I know you had some tickets. You were trying to get fans here.
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit. I mean, your support for wrestling in general, in particular female wrestling.
Yeah.
Like you said, with the Girls State Tournament, Iowa women, just kind of talk about what you guys have been working on and trying to do to help continue to grow women's wrestling here in Eastern Iowa.
Yeah, well, it makes a lot of sense. First of all, the Sports Commission's headed up by Luke Eustace, who's obviously a well-known name in the sport of wrestling. And Luke came and joined our team about 5 years ago and just has done a terrific job. And he and I both have seen the growth of girls wrestling in the state. I think 5 or 6 years ago, there might have been 80 girls that registered for the postseason tournament when it was unsanctioned. And in the last few years, you're up 3,500, 4,000 wrestlers in the state. So it's exploded, and certainly that has helped pave the way for Iowa starting a program. We're fortunate to also support the Iowa Women's Wrestling Club, which is the women's version of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club.
Right.
And we'll have a couple seniors this is senior day today, so they'll be graduating, and there's one or two of them that I know would love to stick around and continue to pursue World Olympic golds, and several of them are already on their way there when you look at Marlon Deedy and Felicity Taylor.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about kind of that growth at the high school level. You look at a Felicity Taylor from Spillville, went to McKendree for 4 years, and then we start a program here at Iowa, makes her way back. You look on the other end of the spectrum, you have girls like Lily Luft. Ella
Schmidt.
Ella Schmidt. Done a lot as you go through that transition, and just seeing them be able to come here and see what it means to have the black and gold, the Tiger Hawk on the chest, that's just awesome.
No doubt. I mean, you see it all the time, particularly with Lily Luft. I mean, somebody who's just worked her tail off, crushed it in Charles City, and, there was no other place she was going to consider. And she has got great parents, incredible family. I mean, the whole town of Charles City follows Lily Luft. And to see her out here, and I thought it was awesome, the game day promotions for this particular duel had Lily Luft.
Yeah.
And so it just brings it all really full circle, like you said.
Well, it's exciting, and you guys have got plans. Girls State Tournament coming back. That's just a couple weeks away. They've got their qualifier this next weekend.
Yep.
And then is that 2 weeks or 3
yep,
weeks?
2 weeks, February 1 and 2, and then we'll go the next day. We'll change the arena overnight, and we'll be ready for Boys State duels. And it's been a lot of fun to see that Girls State Tournament grow. I think this might be the last year that they'll have it with single class, and then they'll go to classes, and it'll definitely make the schedule a little easier for a state tournament. But we're super excited. Aaron and everybody at the Girls Union just does a terrific job and has embraced it with open arms. So it's been terrific.
So you got this dual meet here. You guys are the sponsor of, and I mean it's a natural fit for you guys. I mean, you do so much just yes with sports, yes with all things, but I mean, talk about some of the other stuff that you try to do with that Iowa City Area Sports Commission. You know, what are the types of things that you see Eustis working on beyond just the wrestling things?
Really, it's obviously rooted in sports, and there's a lot of opportunities. We've been home to the girls' state volleyball tournament the last couple of years. We do boys' state baseball, girls and boys' state tennis, and really just try and provide grant money and seed money to grow sports in our community. So whether it be a small little swimming tournament or a rugby tournament or anything like that, you know, we want to be able to help, whether it's just amplifying it from a marketing perspective or actually providing some seed money. So, you know, there's that whole side of it. And then obviously we're working, being the wrestling town that we are, we've been very successful in bringing some international stuff here. And I see our celebrity's back from her recognition on the floor. So she knows all about this USA Wrestling and what we've been able to do with a couple Olympic trials and then World Cup. You know, just a year ago we were home to the first ever combined men's and women's freestyle World Cup, and I couldn't be more proud to have our community start that off and to put the women on the same stage as the men. And fortunately, Team USA didn't bring quite all the hammers that year, and so Ukraine slipped in and took it, but next time.
Next time.
Hey, I enjoyed that event though.
Yeah.
I got a good win over reigning world champ
I remember.
Ferguson. That was a big one for me.
Yeah.
I needed it.
You were definitely one of our brighter spots for Team USA for that duel, for sure.
I never want to turn down going to a World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, getting to wrestle as a team, you know, for dual style, we don't get it that often as senior level athletes. So any chance, I definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
It's special.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So,
well, it's been great. Exciting matches. I mean, obviously the score has been pretty wide between these first two duels, but it's been some great wrestling. And I think, you know, you're seeing that continue to grow. I mean, Kayla was talking earlier about, you know, almost 170 teams, you know, schools across the country offering some form of women's college wrestling. And, you know, there's some pretty talented athletes. So it's great to see them come out and compete.
And we're going to see it in this next duel. I mean, you got the #1 NAI school. You got 4 weights there. Those McBride sisters are hammers. We saw 3 of those matchups at Soldier Salute. I think that our 2 Iowa girls that lost to them are ready for those rematches for sure because they were barn burner matches. And, you know, Lily and Reese in particular. And it should be good. This is going to be a great duel. And 4 real tough weights, and then we'll see how the others go, right?
I did have to admit, I love how we almost emulate the Swarm from Kinnick. Where
you know, they decided to do that at the beginning. I was asked why did they do that, and Clarissa's like, we let them do whatever they wanted, and they just decided that they want to come in together as a team, and that's going to be their tradition. And I think that's just awesome.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, Josh, thanks
for
joining us.
Hair.
Thanks for sponsoring
this
with the Iowa City
for
Sports
filling
Commission.
in here and doing all this great stuff.
That is Josh Schamberger. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout, and we will come back for the matchup between Iowa and Life University right after this. You are listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is responsible for our community being home to countless amateur sporting events and state tournaments. From state volleyball, wrestling, tennis, and much, much more, the Sports Commission generates significant annual economic impact while adding substantially to our quality of life. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is a proud presenting sponsor of UI Women's Athletics. Learn more at wegotnext.org.
Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Starting lineups being announced on MediaCom, Matt, as the Hawkeyes getting ready to take on Life University. It's one of those interesting things, Kayla Miracle, that so many times at different sports you'll see, it's Division I versus Division II or NAIA. Since wrestling at the women's side has really, just recently started to take off, there's not as big of a drop-off. So this is going to be a great duel between top-ranked from NAIA versus top-ranked at NCAA.
Oh, for sure. And Life is an established team. They've been around I don't know how many years, but they have been doing the dang thing for a while. The Flavins, are building a great culture down there.
It was a two-headed monster. Now it's a three-headed monster.
Right?
They got the
Congrats
little one.
to them.
It was exciting. I saw the little one. They've got a baby. I can't remember how old the child is, but
baby.
Baby, yeah, little. I don't know if you saw him walking in, and the baby
with
had
the
green earmuffs on to help block out the noise. So it's one of those where you like. I can even think back. I think several years ago, if we were still at like a national duels, I mean, I remember seeing them around, and it's like you always recognize them, and I'm like, I never remember the names, but you just see them, and you know that they are establishing what they want to do down in Georgia and really have their team where they want them. So,
yeah, they've done a lot of good stuff for the world of women's wrestling, so can't thank them enough for it.
You look at their rankings. I mean, number one is a team. Every single one of their wrestlers is ranked in the top 10 in the NAIA individual polls.
Not too shabby. Yeah, like we said earlier, we're going to have a lot of rematches, and then we're going to have a rematch of the All-Star Classic. So that'll be a good one as well. I'm a little selfish. I like some good wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Rooting for the Hawks, getting to train with them, getting close with them and everything. But, I'm ready for the battles.
Yeah.
I love watching them.
I've always said I would much rather see a great matchup where maybe my team doesn't win, as long as it's been exciting wrestling, instead of a just boring 2-1 or just straight push-outs, just all those weird things. So,
but still want to see him win.
Sterling Diaz gets the start here in this dual meet, taking on Devin Gomez. Gomez ranked number 4 in NAIA. And actually, at the Soldier Salute, Sterling won that matchup 14-4. Coming across hard with that 2-on-1, trying to get that head position into the danger zone. Now pulls her back towards the center. Gomez trying to clear that 2-on-1 out. Diaz pulls her down to the mat, but clears out of the tie at the same time. Referee hollering out red action, basically warning Gomez that if she doesn't pick her pace up, she's going to get her first passivity warning. There's a push out for Diaz for the Hawkeyes, gives her a 1-0 lead. So that's one of the other differences too, Kayla. Don't at the Nationals, at least I don't know for what they're going to do with the NCAA level, but some of the lower levels, don't you get to take like 14 athletes?
Yes, I think it's 15.
15.
Yeah.
And the top 10 scorers are the ones that count, as there's a nice front headlock, circle around, get down onto that leg, now drops down to the ankle, DS does. Into that danger zone, trying to pull her back in to see if she can finish, drops for that far ankle, gets it for the 2 right before they go out of bounds.
Yeah, so you can bring 15, and I think you score 10, or you send them to conference first or regions or whatever it is, and hopefully you send all 15 from there on. But, yeah, so same NAI and NCAA. I remember back in my day, we didn't have a region or conference or anything, so we just picked our however many, and then I think it was 12 scorers actually for us. And so you could have 3 scorers at 136 if you really wanted to.
There's a nice job getting Gomez stepping into her, then dropping in for a double leg and drives her down for 2 more. DS out to a 5-0 lead. You just look and you've got the number 1 and number 2 ranked wrestlers wrestling in the same room as teammates. But at the same time, you could score both of them at the national tournament.
Yes.
And put a lot of points up on that
you
team
definitely
score.
can.
Another
Especially
shot.
with the way they wrestle.
Yeah.
They like to get after it, which is fun for the fans.
Shot from DS from a ways away. Couldn't hang on to it. Clear out. Coming back across, looking for that 2-on-1. 40 seconds remain here in the first period. 5-0 is the lead for DS of Iowa. First match of the final duel of the afternoon. Yes, pushes, now drops in for a double attempt right on the edge of the mat. Not going to be able to finish it, but she will get a point for the step out, make it 6-0 now.
So there for a second, the ref pointed at the foot and was waiting for a continued action. But because action stopped, he just called it a push out. But if life would have, gone down in that after stepping out, we still would have gotten the takedown, potentially 4.
Another high crouch attempt right there, trying to stuff the head outside. Now reaches on the edge, grabs the ankle again right before they go out of bounds, and just like that, it's an 8-0 lead now for DS. We've seen a couple of those actually already where you give up a 2 or a 4 out of bounds. So instead of, it's just a step out, there was continuous action, so give the greater score of the 2.
Yeah, so the defensive athlete there needs to be aware. You can't force something. Sometimes you're getting pushed out, and so you try a big move, a big throw, and you end up giving up way more points than just the push out. Be really smart there as the athlete. That's something you got to train in the room and just really hammer down in your brain.
8-0 at the break. Both athletes finish that 30-second time frame and get back at it here in the center of the mat. DS posted on both elbows. Gomez snaps, clears out of that, looking to come back across. DS with the shot from a ways away. Go behind attempt there by Gomez. Good job squaring back up by DS. Now she drops in on that double, trying to turn her back in, down on that leg. Gomez able to get the hips back, though. DS trying to suck that leg in. Gomez for Life University reaching back, grabbing her ankle. And the referee, whistle in the mouth, hand pointed out, stops it and gets to their feet. Good little flurry by both athletes right there.
A nice flurry, but no points.
2:20 on the restart. 8-0 is the lead for DS for the Hawkeyes. The shot by Gomez. And then re-attack right there by DS. He's got that leg up underneath the armpit. Dumps her down aggressively and covers the hips for 2. And that will be a 10-0 win for DS and a 4-0 lead for the Hawkeyes over Life University. 30-second timeout. Back with more Hawkeye Women's Wrestling presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort from Learfield.
There's something different about watching college wrestling. The speed, the strength, the competition, the takedowns. And right now you could be there to see it like never before. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket and you could win a VIP game day experience to see an Iowa men's wrestling match. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery is your chance to see every point and pin. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena alongside Kayla Miracle, Stephen Grace saying thank you for joining us as we move to 109 in the Iowa duels. For the Hawkeyes, Ava Bayless taking on Diana Gonzalez for Life University. These two also wrestled at the Soldier Salute earlier this year, and it was also a 14-4 win victory for the Hawkeye Bayless. Right off the whistle, there's a sweep attempt by Gonzalez. Bayless able to keep those legs back, stuffs the head. Now she's trying to get the go behind and does for 2. Looking for the ankle, couldn't get it as Gonzalez keeps those legs out wide, so now goes into that deep waist.
She loves that trapped arm.
And there she gets it for 2. Rolls it back the other way for 2 more. Now she's posts, goes the other way for 2 more. Posts the other way for 2 more. And the 10-0 win.
Quick work. 40 seconds.
40 seconds. 10-0 final score for Bayless. Gary Mayab was hoping maybe there could have been a potential fall, but Bayless makes quick work of it. Puts the Hawkeyes out to an early 8-0 lead, and that's where you get into those situations, Kayla. Boom. You hit it, you find something you like, and you go. And she rolled one way, posted as her opponent kind of shifted her hips, hey, I've got momentum, go back the other way.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with that chopped arm, you can bring it either way. You should only be rolling completely through one side, right, to be a little bit safer. But yeah, you can go both ways with that. So if you lock up a trapped arm, you should end the match every time, unless you go out of bounds or run out of time.
Right.
But that is lethal. I think she ended the first match with that too, right?
I think so.
Locked
yeah.
It up.
So we go to 116. Brianna Gonzalez taking on Ariana Martinez. These two actually did wrestle at the Soldier Salute. 11-0 was the win for the Hawkeye Gonzalez. Gonzalez with the shot, head to the outside, now splits the middle, comes through and gets two. Now she's got that arm bar trying to pull it across, couldn't get it. Now she's got the chicken wing in and that far wrist, seeing if she can get those hips around and run it over.
Taking some big steps.
And there she does, and cranks it up tight. Life University on her head right now, bridging hard. But this is a situation where Gonzalez wants to be patient and just see if she can settle in, Kayla.
Yeah, she's got all the time in the world. Hold it for 2 minutes and 15 seconds if she has to, but that is not comfortable for Life right now.
You can see her on the big screen just take a deep swallow, lick her lips, just kind of like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And actually, Gonzalez kind of in a weird spot right here. She's actually underneath.
Almost blocking the fall.
It's like she's blocking herself if she's got that wing in.
She's going to have to do a pretty big adjustment if she wants to get the fall called. There we go.
1:45 to go here. Is that a situation the referee would actually stop it knowing that she's in a bad spot? And there she does get her head out a little bit at least. So there is a little bit of an adjustment.
There we go.
Now she's trying to pinch those arms together and pull it back. The referee down there looking. Gonzalez got to lean back, turn your shoulder back in just a little bit, it looks like. Pull that arm down. Now she's starting to pull it back. Gary Mayab saying the same thing. She's got both arms underneath her right armpit. She's just not even breathing hard. She's kind of sitting there, very patient. She's still got 1:11. Looking over to Gary Mayab to see what can I do to adjust this. Now she reaches around, trying to scoop the head. Couldn't get there.
So back to your question, if you're in danger.
She gets right back and
oh
goes
my
into
goodness.
that
and it's
wing again for
better
another
this
two.
time.
And there is the fall.
Man, the crowd loves it.
So go ahead with the adjustment there, though.
Yeah, so if you're in danger, the ref will not bring you back up. Unless there's an injury or something like that, then you would be, it would stop and they'd put you back in parterre. But if you're in danger, they will not bring you up. I actually was in this situation last weekend in Croatia where it was a position where I was in danger. I was on my back, but I was up by criteria. There was about 1.5 minutes left, and I knew I wasn't going to get pinned because I was kind of leaning on her.
Okay.
And I knew they were never going to call it, so I was good
held
there.
out.
I will just sit there, but I actually ended up turning a bit more, and I left that danger zone, so they actually called us up. And the other athlete and her coach were really mad. They thought they were going to get the fall. It was not very close, though.
We move to 123. Felicity Taylor for the Hawkeyes taking on Anna Kresa. Kresa ranked number 6 for Life University. Get a Tony Ramos vibe every time I hear that Run This Town by Jay-Z. That was always his walkout song, too. It's funny how you start to associate songs with people or situations.
Yes. Especially in a place like this.
Yeah.
Right? You got Spencer Lee and his Pokemon. I've always changed mine.
Yeah. There's a push-out point for Taylor. Makes it 1-0. I like to keep it fresh, change it up.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got an eclectic music taste anyways.
Yeah, it's
so.
whatever I'm feeling that weekend, whatever the vibe is. Usually it's something more fun and happy.
I remember Brent Metcalf at that time is when Party in the USA first came out.
Oh.
And he's like, I'll listen. I'll make that my walkout song. I don't care. He never did, but he's like, I'll do it, whatever.
Yeah. You almost don't even notice it as you're walking out.
Yeah.
You're just so in the zone. A lot of times there's a stage.
Felicity Taylor, nice 2-on-1, tries going to the far knee. gets the push-out point, makes it 2-0.
Yeah, a lot of times when there's a stage, right, internationally a lot, your main focus isn't the song. It's
Get up the stairs.
Make sure I don't trip on these stairs.
Yeah.
You know, you could be like David Taylor who jumps
Just jump up onto
the stage, but couldn't be me. Got to take it one step at a time, very carefully. And then you got to make sure you don't trip over the lip of the mat as well.
Yep. There's all these little things people don't realize what's going on out there. Taylor working that 2-on-1, again going to that far knee, right on the edge. Drives her down and gets 4 as they go out of bounds. They confirm it. They're going to challenge that.
It might be 2. It might be 2, just because she got to her butt first.
Yeah, so the situation, Taylor got down to the leg and was driving, and what we just talked about where you were at that step out, but the action was continuing. But then the question is, the action was, boom, she hit her butt and then rolled back to her back. Is it something where life just assumed, okay, I'm on my butt, there's the 2 that I gave up, so she relaxed? Or was that an actual move that put her all the way to exposure for a 4-point?
Well, I don't even think it's so much that. I think it's the continuity. Continuity. There we go. Of the move itself.
They confirmed the 4 plus 1 point for the lost challenge.
So it was direct enough from feet to back on
Taylor,
that, but yeah.
Taylor leads 7-0. There was a reshot attempt, couldn't get it, goes into a high crotch, caught in a front headlock. Taylor circles up out of that. Approaching a minute to go here, first period. 7-0 is the lead for Taylor for the Hawkeyes. Iowa leading Life University by a score of 13-0. Taylor with a snap, reshot attempt there by Life, and then we stuff and go around behind and get the 2. Now Felicity trying to get that ankle lace locked up. She does. Stands up with it, trying to roll it through. Crazy doing a good job wheelbarrowing there. And they go out of bounds, and that's going to be a push-out point, and that's going to do it. Not often you see somebody actually let somebody up, but
yeah.
Felicity did. Crazy got to her feet, and then Felicity shoots her off the edge. 10-0 final score. Hawks up 17-0. Back in 30 seconds. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. We move to 130 pounds. Emily Frost for the Hawkeyes. I got it right this time. I wrote it down correct.
Nailed it.
And she's got a big one taking on Sarah Savage of Life University. These two split when they wrestled at the Soldier Salute in the pool play, basically the round-robin action. Frost winning by a score of 12-2, but then in the finals, Savage flipped that around and won by 12-0 tech fall. Her walkout song, I can never remember the name of it, but it's the trumpet, and as that's playing, you look down, you see Coach Clarissa Chun. She's almost like she's salsa dancing.
Just dancing on the edge. She's always having a good time.
Doing all kinds of great stuff. There's Savage in on a shot. Frost, though, crotch lift, trying to get an exposure. Could not, and then she bails out and gives up the 2. Savage trying to get that ankle lace. Couldn't. Now comes up to the gut wrench right on the edge. Slide out of bounds. No points.
So Savage is the 2023 national finalist.
And that is the first points Iowa has given up today.
I mean, if we get a fall, then we're not going to give up any team points, so.
Frost looks like she lost contact. She brings it over and says, I don't need to see anyways. I'm just going to start finding those legs and putting on the hurt. Goes to work on that 2-on-1, trying to get into a front headlock situation. Just over a minute gone by here in the first period. Savage for Life University, a 2-0 lead on Emily Frost for the Hawkeyes. Shot from a ways away by Savage. Able to readjust, though, and gets to that leg. Now tries to cut off to a double. Picks her up and puts her down for 4. That was a way to finish a shot right there by Sarah Savage.
Yeah, that was really pretty. That was highlight reel.
Yeah. So now Frost finds herself down 6-0. This Hawkeye crowd getting into it, trying to spur her on for a comeback. Savage controlling that ties. Got Frost over on the edge. They go out of bounds for another push out. Makes it a 7-0 lead. Frost, double wrist trying to get into that 2-on-1.
They both kind of have a 2-on-1, weirdly.
Yeah. Frost clears her arms out of that. Savage gets right back into that. Savage has definitely been controlling the ties a lot more here. She drops in on a double leg attempt and gets the takedown. Makes it 9-0. She's got that gut wrench. They're going to say out of bounds before she can try to roll it over. 37 seconds to go in the first. So I guess Savage has been in that 2-on-1. What do you do to try to avoid giving them control or try to clear out? I mean, obviously you want to get your arm out of that, but how do you defend if somebody's controlling that 2-on-1 against you?
Yeah, so this 2-on-1, she's kind of out in front. In this case, I would probably just fight hands, peel hands. I actually worked with Clarissa yesterday morning on a 2-on-1 defense. If they are in a bit deeper, more hip to hip, what I can do. But that one, I would fight hands, peel hands.
Takedown for Savage right at the end of the period. Gives her an 11-0 win. Gets Life University on the board. 17-4 is the lead for the Hawkeyes. Back with more right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. MediaCom Matt, we move to 136 pounds. Lily left for the Hawkeyes, taking on number 9, Zayna McBride for Life University. The first of 3 McBride sisters in this lineup, and all 3 of them are tough competitors. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle here for the Iowa duels. It's actually a rematch from the finals of the Soldier Salute, with McBride winning that one 5-2 over Luft. Iowa leading by a score of 17-4 over Life University. Big snap by McBride, but Luft able to get that underhook in.
So I was looking at your stat sheet and stuff, credential sheet for Lily. From my research yesterday, I saw that she was a 2021 World Beach 4th place. I didn't see that on yours.
I don't see it on here.
I'm going to have to ask her about that, because that's pretty cool. I think I should transition into the World Beach scene, get my toes in the sand a little bit.
How different would it be going and wrestling, Miami Beach versus going and wrestling in like Krasnoyarsk or Croatia?
Right? Yeah. Whew. You go to some rough places. I live in Arizona, and just because of the wrestling locations we have, I have not thrown out my winter coat. And now I'm here in the winter.
Shot there by Luft. Luft, a little bit ago, got warned for passivity. McBride was in on a shot. We're able to clear through it, and now Luft puts her to her back. She's going to cinch that up for the fall.
Holy smokes.
McBride took the shot. Luft with the reshot. I don't know if McBride was trying to roll through there.
She was trying to do like a little cutback.
Okay.
Which is kind of dangerous to do for your opponent. You can really hurt some knees there. So I'm glad that nothing bad happened, but glad that Lily capitalized on that. That was exciting. Got me out of my chair. I was just full-on spectator right there. That was big.
Well, she tried that, and just Lily picked her up and just planted it right away. Yeah. There was no doubt. She gets a hug from Coach Chun, and now they're a big old huddle of the Hawkeyes just hopping up and down there. There was no doubt. Yeah. The referee just had to basically look up to get confirmation.
Yeah.
Lily Luft had that tight.
Yeah, no, go big or go home type of thing for Zaina. She really wanted that. That would have been a highlight piece, but, live by the sword, die by the sword type of thing. So didn't work out for her, and Lily definitely capitalized. Now this is the one I'm excited for. 42 points were put on the board in their last match.
Yeah, I wish all it says in here was Penn was 558.
I had to go back and look.
But
I knew that it was a crazy one, so it was 22-20, and Reese fell. She got pinned.
She got pinned right at the very end.
Yeah, 2 seconds left. Something crazy.
Jamila McBride for Life University, number 1 in NAIA. Reese Laramendi for the Hawkeyes, number 2 in NCAA.
Fun fact about Reese, she has the same birthday as my dad.
Oh,
yeah,
very cool. Laramendi tried pulling that 2-on-1, now into an over-under situation. I feel bad. I've never done the proper research, but the brides always have long pants, long sleeves. They actually have like a head garb on as well. It's a religious thing.
Yes.
And so you always see them at tournaments, but they have their skin except for their face and hands covered.
Yeah. So actually at the
Reese trying to finish a shot right there, right on the edge. Couldn't, but she does get a push-out point.
Yeah, so when Marlon was wrestling the third McBride sister that will be next, during that match, there was some uncoverage, so they had to stop it, get retaped up, and it was great to see, all of wrestling being so respectful of that.
Right.
Nice
there was shot by Reese. She missed. Reshot attempt by McBride. As she was coming across, Reese was able to slip out to the side just enough and then stuff the head and get around behind for a 2-point go behind. Trying to get a tilt locked up, cannot, so they'll get back to their feet and head back to the center. 3-0 is the lead for Laramendi.
So Reese and I were actually talking yesterday, earlier this week at practice, and she came up and she was just asking my mental take on when you're wrestling kind of a bully, right? So McBride is really trying to, pressure in, keep that pressure, heavier hands, right, control the ties, and so we got to talk about that. Not so much technically, right? It's not always technical. Sometimes you have to win the little battles.
Nice duck by McBride and attempt to neck wrench right there by Reese, but couldn't get it. So now McBride trying to get a tilt with that gut wrench. Reese just laying out flat, trying to prevent leverage. And then there's a leg Turk in, trying to go to a crossface. Could not. So 3-2 is the lead for Laramendi. Well, I noticed even that last restart, like as the whistle was being blown, you already saw McBride like bringing that left hand across into that collar tie. And kind of like you talked about earlier, she's like beyond center of that circle and like just she wants to control.
She's starting center and she's keeping her back to Reese. So Reese has to walk around her to kind of rejoin the match. So those are just little mind games that we're playing at all seconds. Oh, she's in
shot
that
attempt,
Merkel.
And there's that Merkel there by Reese.
In freestyle, a Merkel is not 2.
That's right.
So she has to either get the exposure or get her leg out.
And they slide out of bounds.
So you heard the crowd probably screaming 2 a little bit. That is a common misconception.
Corey Clark
right?
won a national title with that shot. But in freestyle, you got to get that leg out and fully cover those hips. Inside of 10 to go here in the first period. And Reese Laramendi for the Hawkeyes will have a 3-2 lead as we go into the second. 22-4 is the lead for the Hawkeyes.
I feel like McBride is definitely favoring on the bully scale, right? She's really winning those little battles, but Reese isn't conceding as much as it's, kind of seemed like she would when we were talking about it, or like she did in the past. I didn't get to watch the full match of theirs, but she's staying in it, and she's taking the zone, she's bringing her to the edge, and love to see it, that improvement.
So after the break, get back after it. Laramendi a 3-2 lead. So now this would be a situation where if McBride were to get a push out, each wrestler would have a 2 and a 1. Mm-hmm. So then McBride, having the most recent 1-point move, would have the advantage in criteria.
Correct.
Reese coming across, pushing, drops in for a shot. Good job by McBride, though, sprawls back into a front headlock. She's trying to push in. Reese driving up into a double leg, trying to pick her up, and will take her out of bounds. Will she continue? What's the call? They're going to say one step out confirmed.
Dang, she was
right
on the line. She had her foot on the line. That was close. But she also almost got that 4. That would have been beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a 4-2 lead now for Laramendi. 2:25 to go in the second.
I'm honestly surprised on the edge there. Reese was grounded, so if they had gone out of bounds, there would have been no points because they were on their knees. But she came back up, and I think McBride was kind of pulling her up, so she fed into it and got into that re-attack. But typically I would stay grounded there as long as I can.
There's a snap by Reese into a front headlock. McBride tried to get to a leg off of that snap. Reese driving in. Again, that's where she's grounded. Tries to pick her up, and then they slide out of bounds. They're going to say grounded, no. Oh, they confirm it. Reese picked her up to push her out off of her knees.
Ooh.
But the refs say no, she was grounded.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, but it is just 1 point, and they have put 42 points on the board, so I don't know if I would use a challenge brick on just 1 point.
Yeah. There's a shot by McBride. Laramendi locked to the crotch and rolls her through for 2.
Oh, dangerous position.
Now McBride trying to come back through. She's got Reese's arm trying to pull through. She's got her leg stepped across. She's going to get 2 on this. She's going to see if she can try to adjust for a fall as well. Pulling that arm up. Right now it's 6-4. Reese showing some great flexibility, trying to scoot those hips around. Now seeing if she can come through the back door here to free that left arm out. And they're going to stop it and go to their feet. Now, is there any sort of a reversal, like if she got out and took control?
Yeah, had she come out and come up on top, she would have gotten 1 point.
Oh, 1 point. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. Both wrestlers taking a little extra time. They've been putting in some work here with 1:10 to go.
That was funky. That was a weird situation.
6-4 is the lead for Laramendi for the Hawkeyes. McBride for life. Heavy with that underhook. She's pushing hard. She's smart. She's crafty. She knows what the situation is. She's got Reese over on the edge. Reese drops to her knee. They drive out of bounds. Say no point as they were grounded, and it is confirmed.
So it is good right there. They made almost the same call. McBride just picked Reese up, and that could have been called 1.
Yep.
So they are being consistent with that call, and we love to see that.
That's my big thing. I don't care how you call it. Just call it the same every time you go. 35 seconds to go. 6-4 is the lead for Laramendi. Nice drag into a shot. Head to the outside. Cuts off to the double, but gets rolled through. What are they going to call? 4 for Laramendi. Great shot right there on that little short drag. Cuts off to the double and gets the 4-point move.
Loved how she kept running her feet. So there, even though she got rolled through, she stayed locked on. McBride did not change the direction as they were going down. So with that and Reese holding on, there was no chance that McBride was going to score 2 there.
Bounds with 17 seconds left. No points as they were grounded. 10-4 is the lead for Larramendi. Shot from an on-tie by McBride. Reese sprawls back into a front head situation. That right underhook. There's a roll through or a duck attempt by McBride, and Reese holds her right there, gets the 2-point exposure, and that's going to do it. 12-4 will be the final score for Reese Larramendi. She's letting the crowd know that she appreciates them. So that is an 8-point win, so that's a decision. So 3 points for the Hawkeyes, 1 point for Life because McBride scored.
Yes.
So that'll make it 25-5 in favor of Iowa.
Look at her doing her little dance out there.
Don't
let her get aux during practice. It's going to be just Russian dance music all practice.
That's awesome.
That was fun. I would love to see that match, best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of points.
Well, big thank you, Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. They are the presenting sponsor for Hawkeye Women's Wrestling. They feature the Draft Day Sports Lounge, where you'll find great food, beverages, and the Top Golf Swing Suite ready to play. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City, is proud to be the presenting sponsor for this inaugural season for Hawkeye Women's Wrestling. Thank you, Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, for your partnership with the Iowa Hawkeyes. This is another one you've been looking for. Rematch of the All-Star match. Marlon Dede for the Hawkeyes, taking on number 2 Latifah McBride of Life. Marlon won that. What was it?
8-3.
Okay, I was thinking it was a closer score.
Yeah, I think it might have been probably 6-3, and then
something late. Yeah.
Attempting something.
Yeah. 25-5 is the lead for the Hawkeyes.
Herky's looking for a seat in the stands. It's kind of packed, so.
Yeah. He's got to get up in one of the corners to find any open spots.
Maybe he can take this seat next to us if he goes and gets his Carver cones.
Yeah, there you go. 45 seconds gone by. First period, no score. Latifah McBride for Life. And Marlon Dede for the Hawkeyes. They're going to warn Dede for passivity.
Life this whole duel has done a really good job of starting in center and just really winning that little battle.
Yeah.
I know if somebody's starting in the center like that against me, I'm going to shove them before the whistle blows to push them back, so I get a start in the center. That's something we train every day. If we're just in a practice match or in practice situations, whatever, we're going to the center. And if I don't do that, my coach, Lee Pritz, will get on me about it. So it is hammered into my brain.
Yeah. Well, there's a passivity warning against McBride now. So how does that work if Dede was called and then McBride was called? Will they give another warning, or would they put either wrestler onto the shot clock next?
So whoever gets called next is the one that's going to be put on. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it had to be 2 consecutive or if it was just your second time, then the shot clock started.
So say, okay, it looks like they're going to try and get Dede on the clock.
Which there is passivity. So that is the second one. So that'll start that 30-second clock.
But now going into the second period, whoever, if there's no scores and they need to put somebody on the clock, whoever they were to call would be put on the clock immediately. You don't have to go through the what is it called? The whole process again.
Okay. 15 seconds off that passivity clock. McBride for Life. Doing a good job just controlling that tie, controlling the head. Dede dropped for a shot, but got stuffed on it. No points scored, so there is the end of the 30 seconds. That'll give McBride a 1-0 lead. McBride, similar, not quite the full Merkel. Her leg's actually around behind, but she had her arm over the head and couldn't clear that out, so they'll go to a stalemate. Restart with 16.7 to go first period.
So a couple years ago with the shot clock, once the 30 seconds ran out, they would stop the action. But now they let it continue, so whoever is, potentially in a scoring position, they can still, get those points, which I think is a good change in the rules.
1-0 McBride as we head to the break. Have you ever had matches where maybe you're on the passivity clock and you're in on a shot, your 30 seconds runs up, so you give up the point, and then you get a takedown?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you gotta be scoring points, and sometimes you're not going to get it in that 30 seconds. But as long as you're scoring points, we're heading in the right direction.
1-0 lead for McBride at the break. 25-5 is the lead for the Hawkeyes. Iowa already winning 42-0 against Missouri Valley College. Life University beat Missouri Valley 33-13. Back underway here for the second period after that 30-second break. So what have you seen here from Didi that she needs to do to try to create an opening here, Kayla?
I mean, I think I need to study her wrestling more, but in this hand fight, she's doing a good job trying to create. So right there, she just did a little pass by, trying to create some actions, getting McBride kind of to mess up her feet a little bit so that she can capitalize on letting that go.
And now she's got the arm trapped underneath. She also got a passivity point. Looks like she had almost like a butcher right there with that far arm, but when she tried running it, McBride able to get that arm thrown out. Now she goes cross-face, but they'll stop it, get up to their feet. 1:41 to go. 3-1 is the lead now for Marlon Didi for Iowa. Now we're going to have injury time taken here. Or is it, I think it's an exposure thing. They're trying to taper arm. It must be an injury. They're looking at her elbow there.
Yeah.
You ever had the cold spray used like the Russians do?
I have. One time I sprained my SC joint, so like collarbone, and for whatever reason, this was at U23 Worlds way back when, and they sprayed it right next to my face. I did not love it. Just went right into my mouth. I was not happy. Yeah, maybe on my knee or foot or something that would be fine, but definitely not right next to my face.
Did they use like 3 cans like you'll see sometimes they use?
For like 3 minutes straight, yeah.
Is that just like a lidocaine type spray or something? Or
I have no clue. So typically overseas, even though we have medical staff there, we have athletic trainers, doctors, chiropractors, you name it, they're all there. We still can't use our med staff. They have the tournament staff. So It's kind of frustrating, if you're going down and you need to say like something specific and you don't even speak the same language and they don't understand like what you need or, your personality or something. Sometimes they'll tweak on something a little bit more and you're like, whoa.
Hang on.
Please stop.
No.
Yeah.
They get the elbow re-taped up over there for McBride. Back to action. 1:10 to go in the second period. 3-1 is the lead for Marlon Didi for the Hawkeyes against number 2, Latifah McBride.
That bow's staying in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Felicity's fell out a couple times each match.
I feel like Felicity's hair always falls out though. So I don't know if that was a bow thing. I think it's just her hair.
Nice fake right there by McBride. Got Didi a little out of sorts. Marlon trying to adjust as McBride sensed an opening. Collar tie pulls him all the way down to the mat. Knee tap attempt right there by McBride. Trying to clear out. Didi looking to circle up. 30 seconds to go. McBride continuing to try to find a circle. Tries going back the other way. Didi trying to square back up. Front headlock, and they'll stalemate at 22 to go. So not that we're going to get here, but since each wrestler had their warning, each wrestler had the passivity clock against them, would you then restart it? Or if there was another passivity, would they do something else? Or would they not really call passivity again?
Well, at this point, it's under 30 seconds, so you can't call it. Typically, I think about a minute is the furthest out they'll do it.
Okay. I just didn't know if you would get, like if you got called for passivity again after being on the clock, as
Yes.
Marlon Dede gets
So that
the
could
win.
happen. That could happen.
Okay.
So that match I was talking about with Helen Maroulis at the Olympics against Japan, when it was 3 passivity calls, Helen got put on the clock 2 times, which was, I don't know if that was the right call. But.
Yeah. 3-1 final score there for Dede to get the win. Hawks go up 28-6. Back in 30 seconds with more from Carver. This is Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
2 matches remain here inside Carver. Kylie Welker coming out for the Hawkeyes, number 1 in the country at 170, sophomore out of Wisconsin, taking on number 4 in NAIA, Margaret Graham for Life University. Nice fake into a double leg drive through for the 2. Welker drops down to that ankle lace. Trying to get those knees pinched together, though. There she scoops them in.
And she
2
brings
more.
it back in bounds.
4, 6, 8, 10.
Ooh,
she could have kept going
she
as long as she
all,
wanted.
all the way home.
23 seconds off the clock, and she gets the tech fall 10-0.
So Kylie Welker, fresh off the plane from Zagreb, Croatia at the ranking event, where she got 5th place there, which, I mean, that is one heck of a tournament. She had some really good wins out there, so it's crazy to see her. I mean, I was just at that tournament, too. She stayed for camp a little bit, and I think she just got back into town a couple days ago, maybe Thursday night. So, I mean, she is good if she can do all that and then come out here and get a tech that quick.
Yeah. So I remember several years ago they had an event at the NCAA championships. It was like a Big 10 versus Big 12 freestyle, but they did a cumulative score. So it was just what the individual match.
Oh.
And Nick Simmons wrestled at Michigan State. He came out and he got a cradle locked in, and he literally went around and he scored like 20-some points.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they only wrestled like 1 period.
Yeah.
And, he got it and just boom, 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 boom.
That's
It was
cool.
crazy. Because I remember, I think at that time in the freestyle rules, you got 1 exposure and then they stopped it. Like, it wasn't a continuous. Like, you couldn't get an ankle lace and keep going and going and going. It's like you got 1 exposure and then you stopped.
Yeah, I do actually remember that. I did not love when that was. And certain moves you could continue, but some you couldn't.
Yeah,
it was really weird.
Sometimes they try to just make too many weird rules.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline Welch for Life University, number 6 in the country. Is that Fuller, I think? J.C. Fuller, it looked like.
Looks like it, but they are deep in a tie right now, so can't see her face.
Can't see through the blue and green hair that Welch has.
She is team life for life with that green hair.
Yeah. 32-6 is the lead right now for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, that's JC.
That's what I figured. There's passivity warning on red, which would be life. Get the fresh start. 1 minute off the clock here in the first period. These two actually wrestled at the Soldier Salute this year, with Fuller winning by a score of 10-0. Tried snapping into a snatch attempt right there. Deep underhook by Welch. Now they're going to get Feller warned for passivity. So each has been warned once. Feller ranked 3rd in the country.
That was a passionate "Let's Go Hawks" on that side of the arena. Whew.
exciting to think just as the program gets more familiar, people start understanding more, just kind of seeing how this place will continue to grow and explode and understand the freestyle rules and be able to support these Hawkeye women athletes.
Yeah, if you're able to get out here, get here a little early. They had a really cool informational video. It was actually Kylie Welker was talking about the scoring, and they actually had demonstrations. So that I think that could be very helpful if you're not familiar with freestyle.
Yeah. Passivity warning again on Welch, and her 30 seconds is up. So there will be a point for Feller for Iowa. Makes it a 1-0 lead. Double unders, though, by Welch. She's trying to horse these up. Feller doing a good job sagging those hips back. 15 seconds remains here in the first period. Welch coming back to those double unders. Headlock attempt by Feller, and she missed and gives up the 2.
So that was a
slip.
slip.
But they're going to slip.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she fell down, but they said she slipped off, so no points given. So it'll be a 1-0 lead for Feller going into the second. So what's the determination there? I mean, basically she started the action and missed, so it wasn't really Life doing enough to say that she got the takedown?
Yeah, so had JC actually kind of got it for a second, and then maybe Life popped her elbow off or something off of her head, then it would maybe be 2 there. But because it was just a continuous motion and she just kind of like missed the head completely, it's considered a slip. So you can get slips there in that head and arm situation or head throw situation, whatever you call it, or a lot of times in arm spins. You'll see a lot of slips in arm spins.
Okay.
Coral Sugiyama, a college teammate of mine, was the queen of arm spin slips.
Say that 5 times fast.
Whew, no thanks. I'm already embarrassing myself enough on here.
Oh, you are sounding awesome. You're doing a great job. 1-0 as we get back to action here. Thanks to a passivity point for Feller for the Hawkeyes against Madeline Welch of Life. Feller trying to clear out of those double unders, and she's going to get put on the clock here. So now she's got 30 seconds to try to score.
Yeah, JC's really going to have to start beating those double underhooks. She cannot be getting there. This girl is way too tall.
Yeah.
That it's going to be so hard to clear that.
There she
But in on a shot.
Yeah, long reach for it. Comes up, trying to drive through, and takes her down on the edge. What are they going to say? 1 step out, 2 on the side, 1 step out confirmed. So a 2-0 lead. That's where it's interesting, because the head ref throws up 1. The judge on the far side said 2, and then the judge on the near side said it was only 1. So, but that takes her off the passivity clock because she scored a point.
Yes, correct.
It doesn't have to be a takedown. It's just a point.
A score.
So minute 45 remains in the match. 2-0 is the lead for Feller for the Hawkeyes. 32-6 is the lead in the team score. Over-under situation now for Welch. We're going to stop it. Stalemate. Get the action going.
So I actually heard a really cool stat today. So 5 years ago, there were 500 athletes at the College Women's National Championship. This year, 2,300.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's a lot of athletes.
Yeah. Similar when we were talking to Josh Schamberger, and that's what he talked about, you know, the girls level here in Iowa. They had 80 at the tournament a few years ago, and they're thinking after this year they're going to have to go to classes because they don't have enough room for all the fans.
Wow.
Because there's so many girls, and so.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Now, it's probably just going to be 2 classes, like a big school, little school, not going to be, 3 or 4 like you see some places, but still just great interest at all levels. Inside of 40 seconds remains here. Feller for the Hawkeyes leading 2-0. Welch of Life University doing a lot upper body. And now Feller actually has an underhook in. Welch trying to use that as an overhook. JC clears that arm out of there. Welch trying to snap. 15 on the clock. Right hand on the collar, underhook on the left. Feller clears out of that. Now they're going to stop it. Get a fresh start with 10 seconds to go. And Welch staying upper body the whole time, never really saw the legs, and not going to be able to get through for anything. And Feller is going to win by a score of 2-0. That'll make the final score 35-6 in favor of the Hawkeyes. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We will come back and wrap things up from Carver right after this. You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City. Experience the ultimate game day thrill with Draft Day Sports Lounge, where the drinks are cold and the energy is electric. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located minutes south of Iowa City. Thank you to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort for your season-long partnership of Hawkeye Women's Wrestling.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week, it's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter and Fran McCaffrey this fall. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Draft Day Sports Lounge is the ultimate place to watch the game, have some fun, and show off your golfing skills with Top Golf Swing Suite. Top Golf Swing Suite in Draft Day delivers a one-of-a-kind simulation that's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. Pair that with Draft Day's live sports viewing, local craft beers, and delicious menu, and you have a winning pair. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge and Top Golf Swing Suite, just minutes south of Iowa City.
The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is responsible for our community being home to countless amateur sporting events and state tournaments. From state volleyball, wrestling, tennis, and much, much more, the Sports Commission generates significant annual economic impact while adding substantially to our quality of life. The Iowa City Area Sports Commission is a proud presenting sponsor of UI Women's Athletics. Learn more at wegotnext.org.
You're listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just minutes south of Iowa City.
Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena as they are beginning the Senior Day festivities here, recognizing the seniors for the inaugural season of this Hawkeye Wrestling Women's program. Stephen Grace and Kayla Miracle saying thanks for joining us. 35-6 the final score for the Hawkeyes over Life University. And Kayla, great day of wrestling. There's a lot of exciting matches, and it's always great to see the Hawkeyes come out victorious. But it was some good, hard-fought wrestling all around.
Yes, definitely spoiled with some good matches. A lot of rematches. Some we got back, which was nice. And, I just love to see the improvement of the team. I've become very invested in them. And their development, not just the results, but how they are, winning those little battles, right? Like Reese we saw out there, not allowing ourselves to get bullied, right? And it's special to see. But yeah, definitely love the wins. Some entertaining, high-flying matches, some big scores, and team score 35-6.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was going to be a little closer. NAIA National Duels champs, they kind of beat everybody up on that side of things, and so I thought it would be a little bit closer.
Yeah. Let's credit to the coaching staff, though, of making some adjustments from Soldier Salute and understanding, okay, here's what we need to do, here's how to be ready to step out and be victorious today.
Yes, coaching staff is great. I heard them a lot in the room, talking mentality-wise, what they needed and everything to be focusing on going into the matches, their specific matches, but then just like mentality, but then technique. They were breaking things down. I heard Coach Mayav talking with one of the athletes, I think Lily, oh, hey, did you watch this film? What did you see? What did you see? This is what I saw, and them really breaking it down and making those adjustments.
Moves the Hawkeyes record to 13-0 with the 2 wins today. They're back in action next weekend. Next Saturday, they'll be at Indiana Tech, and full day of action there. Kind of interesting. They're at Indiana Tech, and then they're at Sioux Falls on a Wednesday. And then they've got basically most of the month of February off before they get ready for the regionals February 23rd and 24th. So that'll be an interesting training time frame right there for this team.
Yeah, for sure. But, I think they'll figure it out. I think they do a really great job when they're on the road of getting in what they need. And then when they get here, they're going to really put in the work and figure out, the best peak, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll be ready to go for that championship season, make that first run, win a national title.
That's going to be interesting. They won the national duels. They beat North Central by a point, and actually, they only won 4 out of the 10 weight classes.
Yeah.
But because of how the scoring went, they were able to get the win. So I was looking at the team rankings. We're number 1, just ahead of North Central. But if you look at the tournament projections based on where everybody's ranked, North Central is actually projected to score 22 more points than the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a little bit of a nerd. So back when I was in college, I broke down the NAIA, or it was a WCWA tournament rankings, what people scored in the past years and what they were projected and this and that. And it was a whole thing. And, that those rankings can get ripped to shreds.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because come tournament time, you never really know.
Yeah. Yep. Anything can happen once you step out onto that mat. So that's why you don't just wrestle on paper. You wrestle them out there.
Yes.
So. Well, Kayla, remind us again, when's the Pan Am wrestle-off and qualifier? When are you getting ready for all of that?
So the wrestle-off is February 3rd, and then win that best 2 out of 3 against the winner of Jen Page and Macy Kilty, and then I'll head to Acapulco, Mexico, and that is beginning of March, first weekend of March, maybe the 2nd or 8th or something, I don't know, something like that. Yep.
Excellent. Well, hey, good luck with that. Good luck with the training this week, these next couple of weeks, getting to know these ladies and getting yourself in a better position for that as well, and looking for some great things. And good luck moving forward, too, as hopefully we see that Paris 2024 Kayla Miracle.
Yes, that's the goal, that's the dream, that's what we're aiming for.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
You said you thought you made your way through. You sounded excellent. You did a great job.
My stepdad actually just texted me not too long ago saying I almost said a cuss word because I was being a fan, and so I'm glad that I caught myself.
I would have turned you down a little bit or something. I don't know.
Or something.
Well, a big thank you also to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, the presenting sponsor of the inaugural season for Iowa Women's Wrestling. And thank you to the Iowa City Area Sports Commission for sponsoring the Iowa Duels here today. Hawks win by a score of 42-0 over Missouri Valley and 35-6 over Life University. They'll be back in action at Indiana Tech again on Saturday. So until then, for Kayla Miracle, this is Stephen Grace. You have been listening to Hawkeye Women's Wrestling from Learfield.
This has been Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort. Experience the ultimate game day thrill with Draft Day Sports Lounge, where the drinks are cold and the energy is electric. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located minutes south of Iowa City. Thank you to Riverside Casino and Golf Resort for your season-long partnership of Hawkeye Women's Wrestling. Hawkeye Women's Wrestling is also brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings at HyVeeDeals.com. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, your family-friendly, dependable, and honest auto repair shop, celebrating 30 good years in Iowa City. Homewood Suites and Home 2. Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.